Hi and welcome back to the Art of Designs channel, and this is part 3 of my scrapbook album tutorial. It's beginning to get quite big. Anyway, last time we'd done page 3C. Whilst I was waiting for the video to upload, I went through and added in the extra bits, so you can see where they go. And this shows you the little flap underneath, so you can stick your photographs into there. So we're going to start on page 4, which is this page. Okay, move that bit out of the way. Okay, so page 4 is a lift up gatefold. So you will need to score these 2 lines and across this line. I think that's all the scoring that we need to do on this one. So these pieces fold in. And fold them in that way. Okay, fold that way. And this flap folds over that way. Okay, I'll just do a quick check on here. Okay, I've changed this element slightly. Rather than using magnets to close it, what I thought would be nice, you can use it with magnets if you like, but I have decided to put 2 little corner pockets like so, and then you have this little photo mat which will go in, and that will hold it closed. So this is the bit that we're going to attach to the page, and we need a page edge for this one. So we'll go to our extra pages here and choose which one you want to use. There's a lot of pink ones, I might change some of them to put some different colours in. We'll use one of these ones. Okay, so first off, we'll put this middle part in. These are the little slots to go at the edge as well. I'm going to straighten that up a little bit. There we go. Put the glue on the back of here. And these bits you could put up like this, so you've got that pattern going all the way just across the top. But I think kind of offsetting it slightly, it looks nice. Okay, so that's that bit sorted. Okay, with our little pocket pieces, just going to put a thin line of glue on each of these white and gold edges. And I'm just going to put it along the actual patterned piece rather than right to the edge, but you could do it right to the edge if you wanted to. And the same with this one. Okay. This is a little cover piece for here, so you could do some journaling on this side or add a photo. If you want, you can just leave it plain. You will add it on. It doesn't really matter which way it goes. It does, because it's that. It is not square. There we go. And then that will slide into here. I'm going to leave it just now rather than trying to force it in. It just gives those a little bit of extra time to set. We also have a pocket, and that will go underneath, and these are the little tags that will go in the pocket. Get the page. Okay, so this one will fold over like that, and it takes up the whole page. We want to have it about halfway, there we go, into the middle. Okay. Here's another stand-up job. Get that in, just close to the top. There we go. Just going to lift it up slightly because we've got the bulk of the waterfall part on that bit. There we go. Okay, so that will now lift up. You can just leave it like that. It doesn't look terrible. But I'm just going to trim the edges off of this bit, and that will make a nice pocket. We actually do green gingham just to match that piece of gingham there. Okay, I'm just going to brush it down to take off a tiny bit of that edge. Down. There we go. Now going over the edge of the paper. Just put that glue back on there. Okay, we then have this little pocket, which is, again, doesn't have the flaps, just a simple pocket. I'm going to make sure that it's completely underneath this part. Okay, so put glue on 3 of the sides. Go. Just putting the lid back onto the glue. Okay, what I might do is put that like that. That will help me position it. I might like glue off my finger before I get everywhere. There we go. Like that across a little bit. Okay, that's it. Cover it up. Okay, so there are 2 tags which are listed to go in here. They do have little backing sheets, but I'm not going to do them just at the moment. Just put those tags in, you can see how they go. And this should be nice and set now. So we should be able to get this in. This is the first time I've actually done sealing it like this. Just a bit stiff. There we go. It is a bit tight. I'm thinking what might be better if you put it all the way to the edges. It just gives a little bit of extra space, so it's quite tight between those pieces. But like I say, this is technically prototype 3. Some of the elements have only been tried. This is the first time I've actually tried it other than doing it on the computer. So yeah, put your little corner strips right to the edge and then it won't be quite so tight with that bit. Anyway, that is page 3, 3A, B, C and page 4 done. I'll put that together with page 1 and 2 and we can make a start on page 5. I'm putting this one in just to show you. Okay, so page 5 has got several sections which are quite complicated. This is the main part of the page that actually hinges it, and so this part is listed as 5A. And then this I think is 5B. My little diagrams. So on the back of here we have page 6 and 5C, and then this extra page kind of comes out in a slightly different way. So this extra page is 5D and E. So we will start with A and B here, which is the page which has the hinge. So that's this page here. So again, draw these two lines and this one line. This bit folds over. And then these bits will fold. There we go. And kind of bend that both ways to get a bit of movement on it. Okay, so we'll maybe just start with this. This just has a little tuck spot. So again, we just put a thin line of glue down one edge. You could just do it across the bottom edge. And that page is kept nice and simple. Just pop a photograph or one of the little extra photo mats in behind there. Okay, now this has a magnet on it. And I have written where the magnets will go. So the magnets are going to go on these two pages. And go like that, and this will hold it at the top. So this part will fold over that way first. I'm going to go like that. This is an accordion fold. It will fold up, and then this piece will attach to it and will fold. So it will attach under there. And just in case I forget, in the space of a couple of minutes, I'm going to write another M, just so I remember to put the magnet there. Okay. So this is how it will go. And then it will open up. Attach this bit first. That page just whilst I'm working. Okay. And I'm going to use the 8mm magnets again. And that one's just gone straight back. In fact, what I might do is use 2. So you'll put magnets across each side to hold it in place. Get our tape. I'm just using the ruler to kind of pull the tape against just to get a straight edge. I don't have to use my scissors. It just means it's a bit neater and you don't have scraggly bits sticking out. Okay. Try and position them roughly the same distance in. I haven't measured them. Get our other two magnets and get them apart. And make sure that they're on the right way. And the same again with this one. There we go. And it's going to attach to that page. There we go. Push them all down. And then we can start adding in the pictures. And I have realised that should be on the other way around. So I can take that off. Work out where to put these. Put that one on there. And that one on there. This page should be up the other way. So you have that, and the blue would be on there. But we have an extra piece, so put the blue on that piece, and then we can have that bottom piece. Okay, so if you just remember to make sure all of this is the kind of reverse side of the mechanism with just the backing paper on it. They're all the same size on this one because we don't have to fold across each other. I might actually change the design rather than having blue on blue. It seems a bit pointless. So I will add in maybe a pink or a different green. Okay. I'll start by adding this bit. Move that up there. And I'm also just going to add glue. You could do this with your wet glue as well if you want to. Just make sure that it sticks around where the magnet is. And there we go. You could, if you wanted to, also do extra magnet here to hold that piece down, but it starts to get a bit silly with lots of magnets then. I don't think we need it. Okay. Take our tape off. Just try and get it straight before we smooth it down. Possible. There we go. Okay, we're going to add this bit here. I do actually have an extra piece, so there we go. And the final piece. Not too much glue on there. Just turning that over so I'm not pushing it down onto the glue. Okay, so this bit now clips like that, and that just kind of hangs. Like that. You could, if you want to, put an extra thing in, an extra magnet in, or some kind of tie, but it will stay closed. Use them in a moment. Bring the page back up here. Okay, so with that extra piece that we've ended up using, because I've covered up a piece, what you can do is actually just use that to cover underneath here. Or you could use the page edges. I'm going to leave it blank and I'll just print out another sheet to put a square underneath. I don't know if I have one with the colour. I'll just show you, this is from a different page, but with that piece that we ended up using, you just put that underneath there. And that would cover up your tab, but I will print up an extra sheet for that later. I guess the more mistakes I make in the tutorial, the less likely you're going to make them accidentally. There we go. I'm just going to try to centre this nicely. hold on, I'm quickly going to pull that off because I've just remembered why I have the extra pages here. Yep. Fine. Okay, so this is our extra pages. This is 5D and E, which has a pocket on one side, the other side will have a belly band. So fold that. Okay, with this one you would be scoring down here, here, here and here. Again, I will make sure that all of the instructions will be step by step, and will tell you to add on these extra pages before. Okay, that bit's going to fold up. Do have a little cover for the pocket, but again, you don't have to use that piece if you don't want to. There we go. Okay, now we can add this page here. Because we're adding it on the inside, I'm going to go up to the inner line, not the outer line, but not too close to it. Just give yourself a small kind of millimetre gap. Okay. Make sure that bit still folds over. That's fine. And now we can use the page edges. I was wondering why I had them here. Now we know. So I'm just going to cut the line off of the edge bit. It's very squint. I'm going to try and do that much straighter. There we go. And then we can see if we need to cut any more. We'll do that after. So these page edges will just cover the tab on this side, and just by putting them both down, it just balances out the page. Making sure that we're putting the same, well, I want to make sure that I've got the same edges. Make sure that folds over. over and I can just pull it off. Okay, so let's carry on adding this back into it again. Luckily I noticed it before it dried. There we go. Let's lift them both up. Just move that down. I'll print off an extra sheet to go under there. That's that page done. That page is done. It's nice and simple. And we'll go on to C. I'm going to slide those out of the way a little bit. Okay, C is this one. Just a little bit kind of fold out pocket. Stuff that one up in the corner. So these are your paper pieces that you'll get. Cover things over. Simply score down these two lines. I have put in the M for the magnet, and the magnet will go on that side as well. There we go. And this is why you have 3 of these, one to cover that one up, one to cover that. White on the back, that's where we'll be gluing it, so we don't need anything printed on that bit. Okay. I think we'll need a smallish magnet for this because it's not holding a lot up. So we'll do the 8mm magnets. Like I say, I do have these ones. I found they were too small for a lot of things, but I will try and find some way of using them. These are, trying to work out, about 4mm I think. But I'm going to try and devise something that I can use them for. I'm thinking I actually have some box designs that I do, these secret treasure boxes. And they would work quite well, having just a small magnet just to hold them closed. So, I don't think I've done a video tutorial for the treasure boxes, so I might have to do that. Okay, again, put it down to make sure they attract each other and don't repel each other. And that is not wanting to fold over very neatly. I'm just going to trim a slight bit off the edge. I think my cutting just wasn't very straight, so I'm going to cut slightly inside that line. Go. Right, we'll add this piece on first. going to do a quick camera check and I'm getting paranoid that it will cut off again. That's fine. Now we can add these bits. So inside here you can add in photographs, add a little journal. I haven't quite decided what photographs to put in here. It's kind of a springtime, flowery, fairly generic, so I might just find some nice photos of the family enjoying time outside, that kind of thing. Might be nice. Some of the kids playing in the back garden when they were young. I just had a thought. My stepmother-in-law really loves her gardening. So this might well become a little album for her birthday next year. Or I might try and come up with some kind of gardening journal. Always trying to come up with ideas for presents for people. Okay, quick drink of tea before we carry on. The most important thing in a crafter's arsenal. Whatever drink keeps you going. Okay, with this bit, put it back down, you can put it at the top, in the middle, whichever you feel like. I think I'm actually going to use this glue, and I'll show you. This glue does work. You don't have to have the really expensive fancy glue for everything. It's not going to be holding lots of weight because it's just a little pot. And then I will try to, can I put this kind of in the middle on this bit. If I open that out and make it flat, it's going to be easier to push it down. There we go. This is definitely a lot easier when you're not trying to film a tutorial in a confined space. Okay, that's those two pieces done. And we can finish off with this side. So this is just the pocket. There is a little booklet to go into the pocket on this one. I'm not going to cut the edges down just now. So that goes in there, both inside, just round off the corners. I'll put that to one side for now. Okay, we'll put the cover on as well. What I'm probably going to do once I've finished it all is I will go through and put little gems and other little bits of decoration on, and then I'll film a walkthrough of this one, and you can see all the things in place and all the extra little decorations, which obviously you can change up and add your own stuff. This is another vertical belly band. Just pull the edges down. There we go. I'll get the stronger glue for this one, just because I want it to dry quite quickly. Okay. Just going to do it like this, just so it's nice and flat. This can go in there, or put it in there. Like I say, there are some extra photo mats and booklets that I haven't assigned a place, but you can put in the extra spaces, and you can choose where you want them anyway. So that is all the page 5. We'll turn over and do page 6, which I think we'll get done. I'll check the time. Yeah, I think I might have to do a part 4. So page 6. Actually, let's get away. We're doing it all in one go. Page 6 is nice and easy. Page 6 is just the corner pages. There is a butterfly piece that you can cut out to layer up on this smaller pocket. I'm not going to do that bit just now. Okay, so fold the sides in. You might just want to just check that it's nice and flat. I'm just going to take a slightly extra bit off each side. And then make sure it's not riding up. You do just get that kind of little bit here. That side's okay. And then the same with the bigger one, which we will do the other side. Make sure that these bits are nice and neat across the top. While I'm here, one thing you could do with this, I don't know how well it would work. Maybe put some lace along. The only problem is it might get stuck. Could maybe put it underneath. I'll give that a little go. That work? We'll have an experiment and see what happens. I do have that other lace, but I might choose that one. I think the other one's a bit too lacy. This might be a disaster if it might get in the way of the cart going into it completely, but we shall see. If it does work, it would look really nice on one of the baby albums actually. Okay, I'm going to leave that to dry for a sec. Okay, and with this one, this card has been allocated to just slide in. It's just a simple photo mat. That to one side with the others. Okay, let's see that. I think that's almost dry now. It's a good thing about that glue. It does look nice. So hopefully what might help. Did I put my sellotape? Just going to do this in a small section. Just to smooth down the edge a little bit. It'll help hold it in place and hopefully stop things from catching onto it. There we go. We'll see how it goes. Okay, I'm going to turn the page around so I can get a good angle. This is just going to go along the bottom and almost up to the edge. I'm just going to give a little bit of space for where my hinge is, but that's part of the reason why we also have this extra bit here. I'm not going to put lace on the second pocket. I think that will get in the way too much, but our second pocket will go there. And then this one just sits directly on top of that one. There we go. And then you can cut out the extra butterfly and lay that up just on some thin foam pads if you want to. So that is our page 5 and 6. And now we are on to the last pages. Let's see what we have on this one. Okay, that's the page. This is page 7 and page 8 is on the back. Okay, this one is a little bit more complicated. Okay, the page is really simple. We just have the single page. this is the fold out booklet. So this is the way it will go on. So this bit will be tucked down, so we don't need to worry about that piece. You can change it about if you want to, but we have the single piece at the top and the double piece at the bottom. Turn it round, that's completely off camera, so that's the way it would go, but if you wanted to, you could do it that way. I don't think that will move around very easily, but you could do it that way, but it's going to get in the way a little bit, so we're going to stick with it that way. Okay, this one we were going to do with a ribbon tie, so we shall begin with that bit and put that bit. Then we need to work out where all of these pieces go on the back. There. Put that piece up there, I think. That piece under here. And that piece is spare. I think that piece is spare so that if you did want to put a magnet in place, you can use it on here. Although the page isn't the same. Maybe I just got it mixed up. But no, you could put a magnet there if you wanted to close it. But we can use that for our other page that we needed. Let's see if we put off an extra piece. Okay. So we shall fold this bit in first. Make sure you get your fold nice and straight. And then this bit will like that. Again, I might use the slightly runnier glue. One thing I like about this is you can control how much comes out. Make sure that I'm putting it in the right way. These pieces have been cut ever so slightly at different sizes, so they're all fold on top. It's all the same size. They start getting in the way. Like I say, with this wire glue it does squish out a little bit more and makes a bit of a mess, but we're going to cover all that up, so it's fine. I'm just going to double check that that is the way that we did that piece. Yeah. Okay, so we actually have this piece coming in first. going to slide that down lower. Like that. And trim a bit off the edge. Could be that this one needed to go around the other way. I should have probably measured them. Just trim a tiny piece off. There we go, that works fine now. It goes over there. It's just, as you can see, it's very hard to tell. They are ever so slightly different sizes. So this is the smallest side, so that will go on here. I'll get that on so I don't forget. I mean, there's literally just a millimetre or less than a millimetre in it, just enough to make sure that the piece is all folded over. There we go. Right, the next piece folds over here. Look, I think they're all the same size anyway. I'm trying to make sure we've got different colours. Put that there. This on to make sure that it will fold. There we go. And then these two pieces. Okay, now we can pick some nice ribbon, and I think I'm going to go for something a bit thinner just so it's not quite so bulky. I've basically just been through all my different ribbons and just took out selections of different ones that I thought might look nice. There's a lot of pink on here, so the blue might be quite nice. What do I have? Pale blue, but I think I like the dark blue. I think of those thin ones. I do have the gauze, but that is pink. I might go for the gauzy one. It is pretty. Just checking I have enough. I've had this one for quite a while. Okay, for this, just make sure you've got enough to make a nice bow with. It's a bit too long. Okay, so what I'm going to do is lay that down and the other way so that bottle's not in my way. If I tie it together first, then I can fix the ribbon at the back before we glue it down. And it's up to you if you want to do it going across the way or up and down. I'm going to go across this way. This is where you need that extra person to come in, just an extra pair of fingers. There we go. Do it like that, and then I can just trim off that little bit there. I'm simply just going to stick this in place with some sticky tape. You could put some double-sided tape underneath it first, but I feel like that's just an easier way to tie it together. Okay, make sure we have it opening at the bottom. That's the page. And that simply just goes on like so. You can see how that starts to sink into the ink, but we won't see it, so there we go. Just press down nice and firm. That's not somebody knocking on my door, that's me wobbling the table. Okay, I'll put that to one side while we get the parts that we need for the last page. And we might manage to get the back page in as well. Okay, so I'm going to take the tags away. I'll just quickly show you the tags. I will do them separately to not take up too much time. And they will go in the two little pockets that we have at the back. Okay, so this is another lift up gatefold, but it's slightly different. This time we'll score along these three lines, but that bit folds like so. Okay, it also has a gatefold. Remember. I have to put all the pieces. Okay. So these are actually going to go underneath and fold over. I'm trying to do this fairly quickly, but not so quickly that I mess it up. Okay, so they are going to go on there. We're going to have a magnet and a little picture. So I think I can put these bits in place straight away. That way, isn't it? Okay, we want to lighten up to that edge. Very quickly check, because I thought there was an extra piece. No, there isn't an extra piece underneath. Okay. Now we're going to add our gatefold piece here first. Like so. And that is also going to have that little piece on the back. We need to work out where to put the magnet on here first. I'm going to use the bigger magnets on this one, even though it doesn't have a lot to hold down. I think the extra weight will help. Okay. Get my tape. Roughly. Yep. onto this piece. Move these pieces down, and we know that it will fit there. Okay, we're going to put the backing on this bit first. Then you can glue that bit onto here. So I'm going to just go down this side and then roughly where I think halfway is. Now we can do the other magnet. Okay. Put it over. There we go. And then this piece is going to come over and cover that part like that. Should now hold it closed. Okay, we can cover up these parts on the side, like so. Do that really quickly. I'm going to put one at the bottom and one with the border part at the top. You can put them both the same way if you want. These are the two little pockets that will go underneath. That one anymore. So the other lift up gatefold had one large pocket and this has two small pockets. Again, with the pockets, if you want to miter them so that they lay flat. You just cut straight. Theoretically, that should work. It doesn't always. Take a tiny bit extra off there. Do the same with this. Take a tiny bit extra off. There we go. I just now need the page. So this is going to go onto page 8. We'll start with this piece. So this covers the entire page. This bit will go right up to the top. And it lifts that way. And that will lift up. Make sure to just going to open it. And I think just before I do that, okay, so this has another little piece there. And I suspect there's a butterfly hanging around somewhere in my little pile of things that I didn't cut out to go on the bottom. It's just put glue at the side and you can tuck your photos underneath. Okay, and our two little pockets just go side by side. Just fit nicely onto the page. There we go. That looking sharp, there we are. Okay, remember you can see the two lines and we want to go inside this inner line. Try and do these quite quickly just in case I need to move them. But I don't think they're going to allow me to not hold them down. You might just need to lift that up because the bulk on the other side stops you from being able to squish it down flat. Just do it with your fingers. Like so. And then, like I say, these are the little tags that will go in there. 2 in each. So that is all of our pages. Let me check the time. Okay, I'm going to do a final part in a little while, and we'll do the back folio pocket, and then I'll show you how to add the pages into the album. I'm going to go away and take a break and come back and do that part in a little while.